I'd like to welcome everyone to the Dover Development Review Board meeting for the night of December 8th. At this time, I would like to ask the board to introduce themselves. Ma'am.
My name is Geraldine Golette.
Stephen Palamo, Stephen Montello.
And I'm Sarah Shippey. I'm the board chair. Okay, so there's a sign-in sheet at the top of the stairs. I noticed you signed in. And we need to have a complete valid mailing address in order for interested parties to be notified of things. The hearing is to consider application 22 VD100-01 by Horizons Engineering for Brady Sullivan SV LLC, Vidda Loop Road, West Dover, Vermont, to complete the remaining phases of the PUD originally permitted in 2006. The previous completion extension lapsed 12/31/21, hence a new permit is required, and to consider any other business which may legally come before the Development Review Board. So each application is its own quasi-judicial hearing. I will swear everyone in for the evening, and then each applicant will be invited up to the table to tell us about their proposal. The board will then ask questions of the applicant, after which interested parties will have an opportunity to offer information or ask questions. The board will vote on whether or not to close the hearing this evening, and we'll move on. Well, it says to the next application, but there's only one. Our decision-making process happens during deliberative session, which is closed to the public.
I can't get.
I'm sorry?
Ellen, can you? Yeah, I'm not getting the picture, but I didn't know you were hearing me. How do I?
Now I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah, it looks like it's dialed in by phone. So if you by Zoom.
I don't know what I pressed to get. I'm in. I hear you, but I can't see
And
you.
I'm just going to ask you to just kind of wait, because we're going through sort of the procedural part right now, and there'll be a point when I'm going to ask you to chime in, okay?
Okay, because I don't need to make comment if my letter's there, unless you ask me something, right?
That's your call. I can't tell you what to do.
Okay. Oh, so we wait?
Let me get through the beginning, the introduction to the meeting.
Great.
Okay. So, this next section is really kind of, for formality only, because it doesn't really apply here, but this is not a select board meeting where there is a public comment period. Caring about an application or following its progress is not enough to allow you to participate this evening. You need to qualify as an interested party, and this board is legally bound to grant you interested party status. Most often, interested parties are people who own a property in the immediate neighborhood of the property under discussion. Those of you who receive notification of this hearing are automatically considered interested parties. Anyone else would need to demonstrate to the board that they met the qualifications. The requirements are included in the handout at the top of the stairs. Please be prepared to clearly demonstrate how you meet the requirements when the time comes this evening. So Anna, if you received a notice of this hearing, that means you have qualified as interested party, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. There is an appeal process for any decision that we make here. Only an interested party or applicant may make an appeal of our decision to the environmental court. In order to make that appeal, participation in this hearing is required. You must offer some testimony, either in person or in writing, in order to retain your right to appeal later and be kept up to date on the proceedings. By next Tuesday, draft minutes of this meeting will be posted at the library, the East Dover Post Office, the town clerk's office, and here in this meeting room. We strongly recommend that all applicants review the minutes to ensure that their testimony is recorded accurately for posterity. This would include interested parties as well. Any inconsistencies can be addressed under other business at subsequent hearings until the minutes have been approved, which sometimes is 2 to 4 weeks after a meeting. Sometimes it's when we have our next meeting. So now at this point, I would like to ask anyone who plans to offer testimony to please stand to be sworn in. And I realize we can't tell if you're standing, but you can raise your right hand and say I do at the end when I ask, okay?
Yeah.
I hereby affirm that the evidence I give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Oh, thank you. Anna?
I do.
Great, okay. So now, Madam Zoning Administrator, has this hearing been properly warned and posted?
Yes, it has.
Okay. We have written permission for this gentleman to represent Brady Sullivan, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Have all the abutters been notified?
Yes.
Have they been notified in a timely manner, meaning they didn't find out 2 days ago?
Yes.
Okay. We have a conflict of interest policy, which states that any member of the board who feels that they cannot impartially render judgment is obligated to recuse themselves. I will ask at this time if anyone feels that they would have a problem being impartial.
No, no.
Okay, I wouldn't either.
You want to move the camera because I'm not in the camera video.
Well, you could just cozy up.
There we go.
Oh, there he is. Okay. All right. So at this time, then I would like to ask the applicant to, you can actually pull your chair right up to the table and to give us your presentation of what you are, why you are here and what your intention is.
Okay, my name is Devin Courier. I work for Horizons Engineering
Mhm.
and offices in several different places, but I work out of the Pomfret office, Pomfret. It's now the Sharon office. This project, as you are aware, was first approved in like 2006. It's a 56 unit PUD located on basically within Vidda Loop Road.
Mhm.
It was initially approved in 2007. The initial developer built 8 of the units in 2006, 2007 in that time frame. Then the downturn hit in about 2008, and nothing was done for probably 5 years at least, maybe 7 years, or even maybe a little more. Because it was picked up again by one. Brady Sullivan bought it from the original developer, and they picked it up again. The market started coming back, and they built 8 more units in 2016, 2017. And then market conditions turned again. I assume they actually were thinking at that time, right after they built those in 2017, they were thinking about continuing on. There was a phasing plan that went from 2017 to 21, somewhere in that range to finish it out. And apparently it just wasn't, the market wasn't right for it. So as we sit here today, they had done a lot of the prep work in 2017 to do the next 12 units. And they came to the board, I believe, at that time, and I'm not clear whether they came to the board for sure at that time. I know they did obviously they did when they did the 8 units to make 18 total. But anyways, the paperwork and the permitting for the sewer and water was all done for the next 12 units at that time. So a lot of that permitting is still in place. What they want to do now is basically 5 years later, pick up where they left off and finish the project out, if in fact market conditions allow it. My understanding is that they would start with the first phase being the 12 units, the next one's up the hill. And I can point them out. I did bring some full-size plans.
Okay, why don't we spread those out?
Yeah. I also brought, I think I emailed you some building plans
Yes.
that turned out maybe not to be the perfect ones, and I got some better ones that will leave you with.
Okay, the ones that you emailed me are also in the packets, and those are the ones that were dated 2016.
Yeah.
That was the most recent batch.
This drawing is about the 2017 vintage. 2016. And what this drawing was originally for was wastewater permits. So all the information on here, everything applies, but he's got some things broken out because they were changing some things around with the wastewater permits.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
How many units total? 56?
Yeah,
And
56,
how many have been built so far?
18,
18.
18,
And they
So
want to
we're-
do the rest of them now.
We're looking at additional,
Additional 12?
additional 12
Okay.
to start with. And then
So,
there's a phasing plan within that package.
so is our application for 38 units or if 12?
It's for the remainder.
So it's for 38,
38.
They're
but
planning on-
you're phasing it and the first phase will be 12.
Exactly.
Okay,
Thank you.
So the ones that we're talking about right now, these are the ones that are built. These are the 18 right here. Maybe I can.
so is that B1 and B2?
Building 1, building 2, building 3, and building 4.
Okay,
They're all
Jeanette, so if you're, because she's trying to take minutes.
Okay.
So buildings 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're labeled B1, B2, B3, B4 on the plan. Those are already constructed.
Which plan exactly are you looking at?
We're looking at the phase
Number?
4, well 4 water and wastewater plan and future wells. The sheet is C3A3.
I don't think we have that.
Yeah, we do.
You
We do?
Yeah. I have one.
I had to, I don't know if it's colored. I have color.
Yeah, we don't have it in color.
I'll leave, I can leave these with you too.
Oh, okay.
I'll mark my copy as one.
Okay. C3A3, is that what you said?
Yes.
Yes, okay, I see that.
Have it?
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 right here. Existing.
1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay,
And I think it actually, the table down here actually kind of tells you what's done and what's not done.
okay.
So, and so the next phase, what we're calling the next phase are these 12 right here,
So buildings B5 and B6 on the same plan.
correct? And then,
Mine is so small, I can't really read the numbers, but, okay.
The
So-
next row south is the ones we're referring to, Jeanette.
north,
So funny using words like so.
north.
No.
Well, it's because it's North Real Estate that owned this originally.
3.
It's the middle row
Okay, I see B6.
and B5 is right next to it.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay,
And then there's a phasing table that I updated basically from 5 years ago. That kind of lays out how it ideally it would go. Going forward.
okay. Got it.
And so, and there's also a permitting table in there and it lays out which permits are in effect still. And as I mentioned, well, I didn't mention stormwater. Stormwater is still in effect. So both the construction,
Because the stormwater has an expiration date on
it does, but they've kept those up to date.
it. Okay,
Where's the amenity building? I'm sorry.
It's right, it's not there, but it's right here.
Yeah,
Pretty,
that's why. Just says future, that's why I didn't get that.
what?
Mm,
So let's see if there's anything else I can fill you in on. It's basically the same proposal, no change in terms of the, the infrastructure would all be the same as it was planned before. Right now, what exists are a couple of well houses, 1 and 2 are complete, which take care of the initial buildings. 3 is approved.
Right.
that says that's number 2.
I think this is
That's
number
great.
this is 2 and 1.
So 1 and 2 are done.
Yep. And
Okay, Jeanette, well 1 is W1. It's to the right of building 1
Right there.
on the plan.
2 and 3 are finished.
Right.
3 is permitted but not drilled. I don't know.
And well 2
Not-
is
It's-
on the well access road.
Well, access road, okay,
Okay, that brown,
Okay.
well, probably not brown in your little hash box.
mine's black and white.
And well 3 is to the left of building 4.
It says drilled.
It says
It does.
It says.
permitted drill.
It says-
Rockwell.
It's not hooked up yet,
So,
because it's gonna feed these. mostly.
okay, so well 3 is drilled but not piped?
Because it's feeding the new
Oh,
phase, so, yeah.
Okay. So wells 1 and 2 feed the existing phase. Well 3 is going to feed the next phase.
Yep.
Is there going to be what is well 4 going to feed?
And that's what the last 3 permits to wastewater have been about. They basically, and Bob did it. Basically what they've done is they're trying to, what I can see from the work that's been done is they're trying to get some capacity from well 2 to take care of the amenities building someday. So what they've done is they've basically gone back into DEC and said, this is how we're going to do it. So the color coding is what we should be looking at here. So they're pulling, so each unit gets, you can have 9 units on a well. So these 9 are going to be on that well.
On well 3.
Okay, so
Yes.
Jeanette,
And the permits spell it out quite clearly, I guess.
okay, I'm trying to look at it on.
I didn't
The
give you
plan
the
is-
permits that I can.
Can you tell me anything about that well 3? Whether, how deep it is, how many gallons a minute it pulls?
I can tell you roughly the gallons per minute. It's about 4, somewhere in that.
So you're pulling 4 gallons a minute and it's going to feed all of these units?
They have storage tank. They have storage capacity within those little buildings.
Okay, so there's storage capacity within the buildings.
Right.
Okay,
Okay,
So that's how they did it. Basically, the well could pump all day long.
Right.
And, the storage takes care of the peak. Everybody wakes up in the morning, turns on their shower, they got a bunch of storage.
right. How much is the storage? Do you have any idea?
It's a couple 7, it's at least 1,400 gallons.
I was gonna say, probably a lot.
Yeah, that's.
Which isn't a
that's a
ton,
good
but
amount, yeah.
is that
No,
is
for the
that
peak.
per well or total?
That's per well. Yeah, I think you can quote me on that. I'm pretty sure that's the right
The
number.
1,400, you said, but I thought you said the 1,400 was for the people in the buildings. You're saying that the well, I'm sorry if I'm confused, but I need
I'm
to
not
get
going
this
to get it straight.
because this is important to me.
Go ahead.
You're saying the well itself is pumping 4 gallons a minute,
Right.
but you said that each of the units has storage.
No, not each of the units.
Okay,
The pump house.
Mechanical house.
There's a mechanical house where the well line comes into that mechanical house.
okay,
It on demand, basically the pump kicks on whenever those storage tanks start to drop a little bit.
okay,
So as soon as they start to drop, the pump kicks on and fills, at 4 gallons a minute, fills those tanks.
okay. And you said it was 1,200 gallons,
1,400
or
gallons.
1,400 gallons, and how many?
That's my memory, but
Right, and how many units are here?
how many units on each well?
So there are 12 units,
9 on a well.
9 units on a well,
Right.
and the storage is 1,400 gallons.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Does that do fire protection as well?
No,
Okay.
these are not sprinkled.
Right, but how about the hydrants? How are the hydrants?
Hydrants are from the pond halfway up. I don't know if it's halfway, I've never seen it, but halfway
Halfway
up
up there.
the hill.
Okay.
And those are 8-inch lines. I met with the fire department last week. And basically, there's a letter in your,
Yep, saw it.
which is the old one, but the new one will be very similar. There's a couple more things they want,
mhm,
like signs that go around the entrance to the units that tell them whether it's a truss roof or a truss floor. Because they
Fighting the fires.
They
Yeah.
fall through. So that's one of the things. They want the association to maintain those hydrants,
yes. I
and
saw that.
they want. There's 3 shown on site.
Mhm.
One is already there, like right here somewhere. I can point it out to you right there, I think. And then there's another one about here, and then another one up here, somewhere in here. And they want those hydrants, and they want the association to maintain them.
And this has been approved. This
Okay,
1,400 gallon storage for the 9 units on that one well.
Jeanette-
Has been approved by,
The state
approved that.
approved that.
Jeanette, there's a fire hydrant next to building 3. To the right of building 3, which is the 3rd row up.
And I can provide you guys with those permits.
Yeah.
You can actually find them online too.
Well, the other thing that I sometimes think about is in the past, when they did part of Snovita, in the very beginning, when they did Snovita, I believe they had the people that live in the area. They ran those pumps and they tried to, and they determined whether the people in the area were losing capacity.
They did. There's a,
Okay.
and I actually meant to look it up before I came here. today,
Okay.
but, there is a study that was done back in 2005 or
Mhm.
6
Mhm.
that is just what you described.
Okay.
I haven't looked at it in depth, but I did find it in going through all the old records, trying to figure out
Right.
what's going on.
So you had a drawdown test done in 2006?
There is a study, and I can get it for you guys. There is a study that was done. With the idea of showing that the way this was envisioned for
Mhm.
water service, because there's no water service in this town, right?
Right.
Right,
It's all-
Yeah.
that's correct.
Um,
A girl can dream.
to try to show, and I think they show, like I said, I haven't read the whole
Yeah.
thing, but the intent was to show that the impact of this wasn't gonna hurt the neighbors around the
And
group.
that test was done when?
You know,
207.
it was early on.
Let him testify.
It's okay, it was early on. I think it was in the original application.
So that would have been prior to 2006,
Yes,
if the application was permitted in 2006.
yeah, my guess is, and I don't know who required it, to be honest with you. I don't know who asked for it, whether it was Act 250 or potentially water wastewater. I'd have to look into it to tell you that.
All right.
But I'm sure there's one there. There's one that was done. I just haven't taken the time to really understand what the deal was.
Okay. All right. Jerry, do you have any more questions?
I'm just wondering if they would do another study before they do this, or are you telling us that the study that they did?
Well, I think we're gonna
2007
get to that under conditions.
Okay,
One of the things I would say about that is, groundwater doesn't change a lot. So
No, but construction does around that area.
it certainly does.
So we may request either a new study be done or that the organization that did the study certify that in their professional opinion, it is still relevant, because that is a long time.
Let me get a copy of the study to you so we know we're all.
Well, it's going to require input from them, because just having the study isn't going to be sufficient. We're going to have them testify that it is in fact still a valid document.
Okay.
So, and Anna,
Yes,
this is the area that you were concerned about, right? Which is the water.
yes, that's true. I remember there was a study done, but this was just for the hydrant at the end of the Snovita loop, which is down. They don't show it on the map, but they did put in a hydrant
Mhm.
down on the entrance road in the corner. And at that time, there was a little study done, and I remember someone from the state being concerned. And I can't find the information, neither can I remember the results of it, unfortunately. So I think it's an issue that would be nice to have addressed.
Yes. I agree with you. So,
I don't have questions. Any other?
beyond, okay,
I'm all set.
I have no questions. I have no questions.
okay. So what I'd like to do is walk through the requirements of Article 7, which is the PUD requirements, and determine whether we have everything we need. Okay. Item A is name, address, and interest of the applicant in the subject property, deeds pertinent to the property. We need to have copies of those. And you will get this in writing,
Okay.
but I'm just telling you.
I'll just
um,
figure it out, just so I know.
Okay. Survey of the property is prepared by a licensed surveyor showing existing features, including contours, structures, vegetated areas, streets, utility easements, rights of way, land use, deed restrictions, water bodies, scale of map, north point, date and name and address of the person or firm preparing the map. This map doesn't contain the amenities building.
It just,
Right, but if they're applying to include the amenities building, then if they want to come back and do a separate application for the amenities building, that would be,
Vegetation, doesn't have
Right.
vegetation.
no, it just has, we would typically point at flyers.
could you say that again?
Okay, survey of the property.
No,
Oh,
the amenities,
it's not specified on here.
it is shown on that, it's okay. Future amenities.
But that's not cited. I mean, it's just. That's
An area.
There's no dimensional information.
It's all there.
Oh, that's that?
Yeah, it's no different than those buildings, but, I do have a plan for it. It's just not very done. And you have a floor plan for it in the package.
Well, we don't get to concern ourselves with the interior.
Oh, okay,
And we concern ourselves with the height and the footprint.
okay. I was just gonna show you this. Oops. Sorry.
Not for you.
This is something that is overall site plan, that's probably not, there is a survey of it. I guess the question I'd have is, so an updated survey, it sounds like is what
Yes.
we're looking for.
So.
There's quite a few surveys of it.
Right, well, it needs to specify, it needs to include all of the items specified.
Okay.
Which are, do you want me to read them again?
Oh, no.
Write them all down, okay,
No,
so, all right,
I'm just gonna look and see if I had a survey, I don't know. I think I do.
okay. Site map showing,
No.
okay,
Survey.
there we go, just like my office. Site map showing proposed structures, locations, building heights, spacing between buildings, fire protection and land use areas, streets, driveways, traffic circulation, parking and loading spaces, pedestrian walkways, landscaping plans, including site grading, landscape design and screening, utility lines, lighting, signs, unique natural and man-made features, including wetlands, streams and rivers, floodplains, wet soils, agricultural and forest lands, wildlife habitat, scenic features, water supply sources, slopes in excess of 25%, shallow to bedrock soils, land to be set aside for public use, scale of map, north point, date, name, and address of the person or firm preparing the map. Construction sequence and time schedule for completion of each phase of buildings, parking spaces, and landscaping areas. So we have the phasing for the buildings, if I remember seeing that correctly.
I think that I can give you all that. You don't have every plan that there is.
Right, we will, and like I said, we'll get all of this in writing.
Okay.
You'll get a request for additional information. Okay, so you've listed future construction. Start and completion dates, are you asking us then to presume that what the completion date is 12/31 of the year that you're, like it says 2023 to 2024. So is your completion date 12/31/24? Should we presume that?
I don't think we can nail it down that.
Well, all the completion date is you're done by then. And if you're saying you're completing it in 2024, 12/31/24 is the latest you could possibly do it. It's still in
Yeah,
24.
that's what it would be.
Okay, all right. Okay. And that would also include your schedule for landscaping.
Yeah.
And you've got you on here, you've listed typical landscaping per unit. Are we treating this as testimony that we can include in the decision?
Sure.
Okay. This is your section. Evidence of numerical position on the priority list for allocation of sewer gallonage from either North Branch Fire District Number 1, other sewage for treatment facility or sewage disposal facility which complies with all state environmental protection rules and town health regs.
They've already done it to us. I know we're working on it now. So
Okay, all right. A report to the DRB analyzing the impact of development on traffic, fire protection, educational facilities, and other municipal services. Typically that comes from, you go to the, is it MIQ? Is that the name of it?
I think so, MIQ.
Municipal Impact Questionnaire.
Questionnaire.
That's usually completed with you and the fire chief, police chief, and director of emergency services. Articles of association, bylaws, water agreements, or declaration for those developments which provide common open space, recreation, parking areas, or other facilities used, owned, or maintained in common, which would be at minimum, the amenity center. So I'm assuming this is an association,
Yes,
so that we would need a copy of the bylaws and articles.
And we
of
have that,
incorporation. Okay. A statement setting forth the nature of all proposed modifications to the zoning regulations, like if you're asking for setbacks or increased height or anything like that. Let's see here. General standards. I'm just looking through here. Okay, so, and then, so the board can then elect, we have additional requirements that we need, but we don't. The things that I read to you are requirements. So, I think we need.
so you don't, so the packet you have you looked through that?
Mhm.
How much of that?
Mhm.
fits?
I'm gonna compare it when I sit down to
Okay.
write you the letter,
Okay.
compare this to that. There
Okay.
may be some areas that are 90% correct, and I need to get a little bit more information. I say I because I am the one who ends up writing the letter.
Yeah, I just wanted to see how much.
Unless you.
no, I don't.
So, all right, so I think, unless you have any questions for us.
No, I think I've got a pretty good handle on what we need to do. A lot of that, I'll just say that a lot of that information is available. I didn't necessarily include it because it wasn't included the last time,
Yeah.
to be quite honest with you. Maybe what I should have done is looked at that and then, you know.
But
But I didn't know how, I didn't really know how you guys were gonna view it either. So
Right.
it looks like you're viewing it as a brand new application.
Exactly.
I was roundly chastised by the town
And-
attorney.
and
when
if
he
I'd
didn't
known
do that last
Yeah,
time.
and if I'd known that, I would have approached it quite a bit differently.
Okay, so,
Now I know.
all right, so, I would like to entertain a motion to continue the hearing.
She wouldn't say anything. She wouldn't ask any
Anna, do you have any further questions?
No, I'm so glad that you are addressing all these, all the information that we don't have, which is interesting, and so thank you.
Welcome.
My pleasure. Okay, so could I have a motion to continue the hearing? Jerry,
moved.
in a second?
A second. Steve seconds.
SP. All right, so we need to continue it to a date certain. We're not going to continue it to December 22nd.
Oh,
No.
thank you.
I have no interest in December 22nd, except to go pick my children up and bring them home.
January.
January
12th.
January 12th, are we okay with that?
That's 12, that's good.
And
Is that okay for you?
I think it'll work.
unless we don't get no snow and I go out west.
Nah, you don't get to.
Does that work for you?
I guess I'd like to
Zoom.
I maybe reserve what this letter looks like. I think I'll know when I look through
Right. You can ask for a continuance at the continuance.
how quick I can turn it around, I
Right.
guess is what I'm
So
saying.
you, and how quick I can get it to you.
Yeah,
Is the other
so,
question. So what would happen is if we were within a day or two of the 12th and you felt that you weren't going to be ready, you can contact Tabby. We will come into session for 40 seconds continue the meeting to another date and close it again. That's not.
I mean, I may be able to, because like I
Depends on
said,
what I ask you.
it depends on what you have. You know, if we're going back and redoing traffic study, things like that, which, you know, it's been whatever number of years.
Yeah,
You know, obviously that stuff takes time. That's not something that just you turn around
Right,
real
right.
quick, so. And
Exactly.
we'd go out to somebody else to do that, somebody from the area probably.
okay.
So I'll let you,
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so, as of now, your motion, your, hearing is continued to January 12th.
Okay.
Anna,
Yes,
we're going to continue the hearing to January 12th. If you would like to come and participate, you are more than welcome, but you are not required to in order to maintain your ability to appeal or question the decision.
will it be on the agenda, my letter repeated or not? I would have to write another one if I want.
Your letter is now part of the hearing record. The continuance is like we just kept going tonight. It's not a new meeting.
Right, okay,
So it's as though we just kept talking until January 12th.
okay,
Okay,
wonderful, thank you, okay,
thank you for participating.
thank you.
Okay, does anybody else need anything? Okay, so you will get a letter from me as quickly as I can get it out to you. Giving you a list of the items that we need or questions that we have.
okay,
And then if you could let Tabby know by say January 10th, if you're sure that you, sure or not sure, you can be ready.
yeah,
And then we can go from there.
great.
Okay, and did you have any questions for us?
No, thank you very much. Very
Thank
nice to
you.
meet everyone.
Nice to meet you, Devin. Thank you.
in the winter.
Okay.
Yes,
I don't know if you guys care about, I don't know if you care about the buildings that much.
Plan to put these funds proposed seasons development.
You want to do that? I'm just gonna name you everything.
Proposed seasons development. How
Future.
But this section here is,
How old you thought it was.
starting here is the right building for what that phase is. And it's got a lot.
Sundance, right, so they're right here.
Well, as Sarah said, we may not need some.
Yeah, but all these to
I appreciate that.
maybe some build, wanted to build a big airplane.
You know what? These things are awesome for gift wrapping.
You know, I'm old enough now that. So 8.5 by 11, I mean, 11 by 17 don't work anymore.
No.
I can't read them.
My father was an architect and all of our Christmas presents were wrapped in blueprints.
Send you a copy of Anne's letter so that you have that in your. packet.
So Jeanette,
Yes,
we have minutes from when
April 21st.
and who was there?
I was.
I read,
Yeah.
okay, Gary.
I sent them to you. Did you? I sent them back out to you guys.
I trusted that they were
Yesterday.
right. So I'm
Okay. Yeah, it was Jerry, yourself, Steve Montello, and John. So
Make a motion that we approve those minutes.
You read them?
Yes.
I'm gonna test you. Did you really read them?
I read them back then and didn't have any questions.
Okay, good. That's true.
So, all right, so, and that, you said that was the 20th?
April 21st.
April 21st.
Thank you. Okay. All right, all in favor?
Did someone second?
Aye.
Okay, was it Jerry?
301.
Yes,
Okay,
not there.
do we owe you anything else, ma'am?
No, I don't think so. So you're gonna send that letter to me to get to
Yes.
the applicant, right? Okay.
Yes. Actually, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna write the letter, I'm gonna send it to my board members, see if they have any questions or if they think that I forgot something or I'm being too strict and should take
Never,
something out.
never would they say such a thing. Yeah.
Then it will go to you.
Okay,
Go to him, okay?
sounds good.
Okey dokey. Thank you,
Bye,
Jeanette.
Jeanette. Good night.
So are you adjourning now?
I
Yes.
think we don't need a deliberative session.
No.
Right?
So you're just gonna
Okay,
adjourn.
so motion to adjourn at 7:39.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okey doke.
Eddie?
Thank you.
I'm gonna stop.
Thank you.
Yes.